Hey guys, what's up? My name is Sven and I want to welcome you to this quick DaVinci Resolve 15 color grading tutorial. And if you're new to the software and if you've never color graded in DaVinci before, this one might just be for you, since I'm explaining the basic features of the software and I'm showing you how I get into my color grading workflow and how I start to color grade my own footage. Alright, so let's just jump right into the color grading section of DaVinci Resolve 15. And I've already activated the color grading tab, and the overall layout might look a bit different on your machine. It just depends on what kind of monitor resolution you're using and of course which version of the software you're using. I'm currently working on a MacBook Pro and everything is a bit squeezed in, but you can always activate or deactivate or resize parts of your screen. So first of all, on the top left you have the monitor, and the monitor shows you your actual active footage clip here, and you can zoom in by hitting Command plus on the keyboard and zoom out hitting Command minus. Let's resize the monitor just a bit to gain more space here in the node section. And many people are irritated by the use of nodes, but actually it's not that difficult, so I'll show you why. Just by hitting Alt S on your keyboard you can apply a node, and you can apply many more of these by hitting Alt S and deleting them by hitting backspace of your keyboard. Activating and deactivating a node by clicking on the small numbers here. And let's give the node a label. Let's call it contrast. So you can organize your nodes by giving them labels as well. And it works a bit like this. Here on the left, this is your actual picture as it looks like here in the footage. Then you apply your color corrections and they are adding up. So the corrections that you do here in node 1 will add up to node 2 and so on. And here on the right, this is how your picture will turn out after applying all the color corrections. So this is it basically. Let's just see what kind of settings we can apply to our footage. First of all, this is the camera raw tab here, and if you have shot your footage in a raw format, you can already apply different settings here to your footage. The next one is the color checker tab, and if you've shot a color checker, an X-Rite color checker in your footage, you can match those colors with the DaVinci Resolve standard colors and it will try to gain a more natural look than what your camera has recorded. The next one is the color wheels tab, and we will come to this one as soon as we are through here. It's quite impressive. You can adjust the colors of your shadows, midtones and highlights, and you also can adjust the luminance of it and the overall offset look of the picture. This is really quite impressive. You can also add contrast to your picture and saturation, and I will show you how this works. So and then there is the RGB mixer. You can, for example, crank up the different channels here, the red, green and blue channels, to add saturation to the picture. Command Z returns it, or you can also click here on this little wheel and it will come to the neutral position of your footage. So the next one is motion effects. We'll skip these ones for the tutorial here. Then you've got your curves and I will explain how to use them. There is the color picker, the qualifier, and I will show you how to use it. Then you have a selection tool, so you can select different parts of your footage and color grade only these parts. I will just skip this one for this tutorial. And yeah, there is blur, and of course you can also sharpen your picture or sharpen specific areas in your footage. And there is the node key, and this one is also quite nice and I will show you why. Okay, let's start with the first node here, which we called contrast, and I will zoom into the picture just a bit. I go to the color wheels tab and I set my saturation to 0, and then I go to the curves, and as you can see here on the bottom right, these are my scopes. This shows you the RGB channels, and the top part of the scopes is the light part in the picture and the bottom is the darker parts, the shadows in your picture. So when we adjust the curve, of course the scopes will move with it. Now let's just bring more light into the picture and increase the shadows as well. And yeah, you can link the RGB channels together, or you can also work only in one channel here in this tool. So let's go back to the color wheels and let's hit the saturation to 50 again. And you can see the output that it did to our footage. We can activate and deactivate here the node by clicking on the number, and you can see that there's already much more contrast in the picture than it was before. Alright, let's zoom out a bit. The next color correction that I want to do is for the skin tone, so let's add a new serial node and let's call it skin. And this is quite impressive, so let's zoom in a bit. And with the picker tool here, with the qualifier, you can just pick different areas here of your skin color. And by hitting Shift H, you will see the selection. And you can select here your skin tones, and of course similar colors will be selected with it, but they will also improve when we improve our skin tones here. So now that we've selected the skin tones, we go back to our color wheels and let's zoom in a bit. I want to adjust the shadow parts of this color only, so I drag the wheel a bit into an orange tone, and you can adjust the luminance of it as well. You can make it lighter or darker. I want to adjust the midtones, and I want to give the highlights a much more lighter look and bring it a bit more into the yellow. So Shift H shows you your total picture. I'm zooming out, and yeah, let's activate or deactivate the skin, and as you can see, it's much more sunnier and it's not that reddish and bluish anymore as it was before. Alright, so by the way, I want to thank you, Gabriel and Martina, for letting me use this footage in the tutorial video, and thanks for participating. Gabriel and Martina, I've linked your Instagram profiles here in the show notes. Alright, so the next one I want to do is add a new serial node, and I want to make the picture just a bit lighter here by hitting the curves and give it a bit more contrast, going back to the color wheels, adding a bit more saturation, also a bit more contrast. Alright, I wanted to show you how you can use the sharpen feature. Zooming in, you can see it's a bit unsharp here. Let's add a new serial node, give it the label sharpen, and then if you apply some sharpening here, you see, let's not overdo it, it will affect your picture. Maybe this is just a bit too much. Alright, and the last thing I wanted to show you is the key output. This is quite nice, so let's add a serial node. Let's adjust the contrast dramatically, and by going back here to the key section, you can adjust the output of only that node. So you see it's only having a slight effect to the picture. All right. Yeah, so this is basically it. This is how I start my own color correction workflow. I'm starting to adjust the contrast and the skin tones in my picture before applying any LUT. And in the next tutorials, I will show you how I will work with a LUT file. And if you like that quick tutorial, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. And it would be great if you check out my website. This is www.the white-bird.com, where I show my work and my films that I've done so far. And if you want to check out my Instagram account, just hit instagram.com/thewhitebird, and I hope to see you there. So have a great day, and I wish you best of luck with your own color grading, and just check out every feature DaVinci has to offer. I want to encourage you to just play around. There's nothing you can do wrong. You can always get back to the settings before. Alright, so yeah, have a great day, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.